Well, I guess there is no surprise because watchmaker's name hints on the main topic, and as you can see it inspires creators a lot, it's aviation. So today's watch is not an exclusion from this rule, and it builds image on plenty of airplane things. Nevertheless, I have to say that it was quite surprising when I saw first photos of this model. I mean, the design of this watch is definitely masculine and it looks more sophisticated than any previous release from the same manufacturer. Here I would like to make a small note that Rio Hawker Hunter is a real airplane which existed in 60s. That's airplane, I mean, it's quite old, as you can guess, because it was made in 60s, but it's notable because it broke a speed record. And AVI-8 decided to commemorate this beautiful bird and issue a line of the watches named after this supersonic jet. Now we can take a closer look at what it is and what it can offer to us. First of all, let's talk about design of this watch, because as I said before, all previous models from AVI-8 were quite calm in their design, but today's model just screams with aviation and that it's related to jets and airplanes. And here it is important to mention that there are several colors available, and grey in my opinion is the most impressive because it looks like it was taken straight out of the airplane. Nevertheless, for the review, as you can see on the video, we have a black and gold combination, and it's a bit more different appeal because we have gold elements added on the black casing, and it's special, I would say. It's different from what we can see on the grey colored version. And as you can see, gold color can be found on the ring around the dial, also some screws and the pusher. Here it's also important to know that configurator for such watch would come handy because there are 5 versions available, 5 color versions of course, and mainly they come with black dial, so it would be cool if buyer could, let's say, choose their own configuration to have a better design, I mean more suitable for his own wishes. And it is safe to say that watch face here dominates whole design, so it's quite impressive approach to designing such, let's say, casual or usual part of the watch. I mean, here we have asymmetrical design, and even more surprising that despite this feature it is easy to read the time, and it looks quite impressive because it has several subdials. These subdials are done several layers above the main dial, and it brings nice volume to the dial. I mean, it doesn't look that flat, and I can say that photos don't convey even half of the coolness, so I would recommend to check model personally if you can. And as you can notice, on gold version all indices are covered in gold color, and each mark is slided into the special recession, what is also quite a nice touch in this overall styling. And 2 screws on the watch face are actually real screws, they are gold covered. And why I'm mentioning this, because I'm currently testing another watch from quite famous manufacturer, I would say, and their screws are just painted, so it's quite a nice feature that here we have real parts, not their imitation. And hands of this watch might look gold, but they are actually covered with luminous material, so they just shine in the dark, of course, but you shouldn't expect really bright lume. I mean, it's not the flashlight for your dark walk-ins, it's just a, let's say, a useful feature which will help you to know the right time. And by the way, indices are not covered with lume, so you'll have to guess a bit what the time right now, because otherwise it might be a bit tricky. But well, approximate time should be easy to find, I mean to read from this dial. As you can see on the video, my version comes with black colored case, and size here equals to 45mm, so it might not be looking good on some thin wrists, and I would recommend to check the fitment on your wrist if you can. And the thing which surprised me is actually its durability of this black layer, because I had several bumps, I had several scratches, but there are no scratches or scuffs on the case, so you won't see any silvering or silver segment of this watch. And I recommend you to check photos in the article so that you can see that case is still intact after hard wearing it during 3 months. And by the way, on the crown you can find small AVI-8 logo, so it's quite a nice touch. The same logo can be found also on the case back, And here it is important to say that case back was finished in silver color, so I guess it was done in order to have a standardized part between all versions, and I guess it had some influence on the final price, of course. Inside you'll find just a quartz movement, which should come handy for everyday use. And by the way, this watch provides 5 atmospheres water resistance, so at least you don't have to be worried about splashes or some, let's say, rains. And those who want to complain about quartz, just think about the price increase you would get with automatic movement, especially with Chrono function, so you understand the reasoning behind such choice. And here we can move to the strap, because strap was one of the disappointments in this model. Why? Because I would say there is a small word on this strap. It's written leather, and it's huge overestimation of the material used. I am quite sad to say this, because watch would definitely benefit from better strap. I mean, I was wearing it for several months, as I said before, and now it just separates into 2 layers. I mean, such effect can be seen only on some simple or basic straps, so I would recommend to upgrade your watch straight away with some NATO strap. And here it is important to say that the lugs on this watch are slightly bent, so take this into your, let's say, estimations, because otherwise you might have some problems with fitment of this watch on your wrist. So to conclude, I can say that once again I will repeat myself that I was wearing this watch for several months. It was interesting to see how it will survive quite an intensive wear, and as you can see, case is still intact, it looks like new, and the only thing that got down is a strap, because it decided that it can be a 2-part strap. But as I said before, it is better to replace the strap on some NATO type, and you would get a even more realistic or militaristic look on your watch. And Hawker Hunter model from AVI-8 got me interested from the first sight, so I would say it's quite an interesting candidate for everyday use. It should be equally nice with t-shirt or official white shirt. It will be up to you how to wear this watch, but it's really decent choice for reasonable money. So just let me know your opinion in the comment section below, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video. Thank you for watching, and bye!